Hello, my people. It's Ange, and this is Quiche My Ass.
And Nicole.
And this is Dolly, and I'm super nervous to be on the podcast.
You're doing so good, sweetie.
Thank you. I can't stop shaking. Hey guys, it's Dahlia. Sorry for that little Anyway.
Ange did good, though.
Ange did good.
Thank you.
So, not many people know this, and if you're new to the show, I feel like we never talk about this show. Like, we don't tell people in the later episodes of what the show's about. And the show's about informing people what's going on in the culinary world, the vibes, the different jobs, the things that me and Nicole hate, dislike, I don't know.
But today we're doing it a little different, and we're talking to a home cook.
Slash our PR lady.
Hello.
Our PR lady, our social media manager,
Yes.
Our
saving grace.
Yeah, our saving grace. Me and Nicole are not good at social media, so all the posts that you guys see on our Instagram, Ange is doing it. She's
texting us late at night like, hello, you need to respond. So
I'm like, can I post this? It's so fun, though.
I know you because you date one of my cousins / brother, so you're like a sister-in-law to me at this point.
Shout out Ahmad.
Yeah, what up, homie? I call him AJ, so
so
no one knows him as AJ, but
I only know him as AJ.
And he probably, when you guys first started dating, was like, hey, you need to meet Dahlia, because that's how I was. Every time I'm dating somebody, I'm like, you need to meet AJ.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so he was probably like, this crazy girl, she's a chef.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to talk about.
Literally, like, the first time I met you, he was like, come over, we're going out, you're going to meet my friend, she's crazy, she's a chef. You're going to love her.
Yeah.
And now here I am.
And now here you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like looking for somebody with social media experience, and Angie's like, I'll do it. And we're just like, all right, once we become famous, you're in it to win it with us.
Yeah, I have a stake.
It's too late. You can't turn back
Yeah,
now.
you have a stake. Before we do all of this, do you want to say something really quick? Or?
Well, yeah, I wanted to say that we wanted to do an episode with a home cook because we think that this podcast is really interesting, maybe for chefs and people in the industry, but we want to make sure that people who aren't in the restaurant industry are still heard because you guys are cooks too.
And you guys you're feeding our industry. Like, you're coming in and you're being like, hey, I like to cook / I like to go out to eat / thank you.
Yeah, so Angie's going to ask us a lot of questions, whether cooking or not. I don't know. We'll see.
We're going to see. But before we start all that.
Also, can I say something else?
Oh, yeah, please.
I also feel like this is perfect because I don't think you guys know this, but I always listen to Quiche My Ass while I cook.
Yeah, you're
it's like my ritual.
Yeah, you're one of our biggest fans.
I know I am. And I love it. And everyone should listen to it every single week.
Thank you. She listens to it more than us, by the way.
She does.
I do. Ahmad was like, are you going to listen to this episode because you're on it? And I was like, I listen to every episode. Excuse you. But I literally like go home and I'll start cooking. And like Ahmad will like get home and go to the gym because we like trade like cooking nights basically. And we live together, whatever.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Honestly,
it's really
Thomas
nice.
and I are going to do that.
I think
it's so nice.
Ian need to do that.
Yeah.
Because we don't both need to cook, especially because our kitchen's not big. It just makes more sense.
Yeah.
So I always like get home and I'll like put, on Mondays or Tuesday, if whatever, put the podcast on while I cook. It's so nice to listen to while you cook. I highly recommend it because it's like content that's relevant and you can like pay attention, but it's not like watching TV and cooking. You don't have to look at anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
just also want to say the only reason I get along with Nicole is because me and her could work in small spaces.
Oh yeah,
and
that's not the only reason we get along.
No, I know, but like that was one of the first reasons why me and you were like, wow, we could work well together.
We don't have to say a word.
We don't
just
have,
look at
and
each
we
other
don't bump into each other because she's a lefty, I'm a righty. That's why we don't bump into each other because we like.
It's like a dance.
It's a dance.
Yeah, it's a dance.
We dance well together.
Yeah, so I understand working with you. Don't cook in a kitchen with somebody else. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
But I will say that Ange cooked us dinner, and we were very impressed.
God, it was so good.
And Ahmad also cooked.
Ahmad as well, but we were impressed. I mean, not many people who are
chicken with a bunch of veggies. What else was there?
Like a salad, and then we did like a salad and like veggies, chicken.
No, there was
something
else.
And this butternut squash like pastilla.
Was it risotto that I made?
No, you made this like butternut squash and cheese like pastry.
Yes, I did.
With-
Yeah, it was like puff pastry and it was stuffed. It was
Yeah.
like, it was really
And you
good.
did like a garlic yogurt sauce, and
Yeah.
everything was
Oh, yeah, it
great.
was
And then
so
I also
good.
made apple pie with apples that we picked.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That was so
that was
good.
really fun.
Which is way more than most home cooks do, but so I think it'll be fun.
I think
It's gonna be a good episode.
I know a lot of home cooks. My dad is a home cook. My
Yeah.
grandma's a home cook, and I think that they're,
I'm a home cook.
yeah, they're better, and they're better home cook. They're better cooks than most people that I worked with.
Yeah, and I feel like I have a lot of friends, especially more recently, that are getting like very, very interested in like friends who like we take turns cooking for each other. And like I get a lot of pleasure from like having people over and cooking for them. And so does Ahmad. So it's like a great thing for us to do. And also like friends who are super interested, like asking like how we make stuff. And it's just like
Yeah.
yeah, and it's super helpful to talk to chefs. I have you two at my disposal.
You
Lucky
do.
me. And also one more friend. But besides that, like before I moved to New York, I didn't know anyone who worked in culinary. So the whole sort of like world and resource or idea of having a resource was like not at my disposal.
Yeah, but now
Although
you
my
do.
mom, I had my mom.
I
No.
know, but like I don't even call anyone. I just go on Instagram and literally type in chicken, and then I
Yeah.
just go through, and I'm like, okay, I could do something like that. Because like
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a call to be like, how should I do this? Except only time I ever am in an emergency is Nicole. I made something too salty. I don't know what the fuck to do, because like some things I know how
Yeah.
to like get rid of things that are too salty, but like I fucked up a soup the other day so badly.
Oh no.
So badly.
But did you fix it? That's
No.
the one you texted me, right?
Yeah, and I looked at my boss and I go, I fucked up a soup. And
What kind of soup was it?
I think I was making like a broccoli soup, and then all of a
You're
sudden,
like, I think.
I don't remember because I make like random soups every day, and I just made like a broccoli soup, like pureed broccoli, and like I made it too salty. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put more cooked broccoli that I have in the fridge into it, and then it was just like not good. It was just disgusting. So then I put cauliflower in it and just wasn't doing it, and I just kept adding things to it, and I was like, this tastes like shit, and it did. So thank God I had leftover soup, and that's what I served her. Yeah, that's what happens.
Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes it
Yeah.
happens.
So
Yeah.
today we'll talk about cooking mishaps if you want. We'll talk about everything. But
We'll talk
first,
First,
Oh yeah, first.
I wanted to be a tacky girl from New York City, and
well,
if you're
from
not watching,
Jersey, you're from
I'm
Jersey.
from Jersey. But if you are watching our YouTube video, please subscribe to our YouTube. Just letting you guys know.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, we are on YouTube. You can see our beautiful faces finally. If you were ever just wondering what we look like, hello.
If you're dying to know.
And
I'm
I'm-
dying to know what our social media manager looks like because you
Yeah.
most likely already know what Dahlia and I look like.
Maybe.
Hopefully, you
Maybe.
better.
Well,
yeah,
or
you
maybe
better.
not. Maybe they just
In
stumbled upon
movement,
this.
you should know.
Also follow Quiche My Ass on Instagram.
Yeah, thank you.
It's actually Quiche My Ass Pod.
pod, P-O-D.
Yeah.
Because it's a little pod that we just hang out in.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is finally, I always wanted to try this. It's 818 Tequila Blanco by Kendall Jenner. She also owns it with other people. She started this. So this came out in the summer, and I remember it was like a huge thing. Summer
Yeah.
2021. Everyone was
The
just like,
photos.
the photo shoot, everyone's like, oh my gosh, this girl's so culturally inappropriate because like she's dressing like a Mexican farmer, and she should not be doing that.
Yeah.
And no one gave George Clooney shit though for doing Casamigos, and it's
Well,
actually named Casamigos. You know what I mean?
You're right, but like
Is George Clooney white?
Is not in the. Yes, he is. But he's
He
not.
is a white man, so why are we talking shit about like a white model doing this? Yes,
Only
because she's part of the Kardashian
Only
family.
I think it was
because she
just-
has such a big social media presence.
Exactly. It was like way more out there. Like honestly, I had no idea that George Clooney
He didn't
made.
market it as his own.
Yeah.
He
marketed-
did. What do you mean? When
He did with the
first-
motorcycle
with-
commercials.
yeah, exactly. When
Yeah.
he first started out, it was his, and then he sold it for $1 billion like 4 or 5 years later. So it was his
Yeah.
company, and no one said anything about George Clooney running a tequila company.
But I had no idea honestly until recently. I feel like with Kendall, it was like on her Instagram. It was like her face was on it, and it was like, I don't know. It's also just more relevant to our generation. Like if we
because
were
we are-
drinking
we
when
are
George Clooney
obsessed
started it,
with the
yeah.
Kardashians. Like
Yeah.
we're obsessed.
I'm not personally.
but you know who they are.
yeah.
You know their names. Like you
I'm not
know-
obsessed with them, but I do get Kardashian TikToks on my.
Yeah, you
feed.
have it. It's you can't get rid of them on your phone. Like literally,
Yeah.
they're there. So I wanted to try it just because why not? We tacky, we out here, and we always wanted to do a celebrity tequila.
It's a Saturday. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
it's a
It's
Saturday.
And Nicole doesn't want to do it, but I'm making her taste it.
No, I do not want to take a shot
Yeah.
of tequila at 4
can't
o'clock
stand
on a
up.
Saturday.
It's 4:28. 28 is my lucky number, if anyone was wondering. So we're
Which is
just
weird because 27 is my lucky number.
That's weird. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You did know that. I've told you that before, but you
No.
don't listen. Anyways,
What are you,
Ready?
my
Cheers.
boyfriend?
Cheers.
Like, jeez.
Ange has to stand up to take her shot.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
could
need
do. I'll
to.
stand up with you.
I'm just like, okay.
We'll stand up.
I'm.
For everyone driving in their morning commute on Monday, sorry.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
Oh wow, it's really good.
Thank you, Kendall, because that wasn't a bad shot.
That was actually delicious.
All right.
Holy shit.
But it tastes sweet.
It was sweet, but
I
you
have-
know
yeah.
what? We don't need a lime.
The lime is like way.
Wow.
But there's
Okay.
like vanilla. Like
There
it's
is a
sweet.
vanilla, but that's this agave. No.
No, that's additive.
You think? Okay. So in the back, I'm just gonna. You want to
Yeah.
read the back of it really
Oh,
quick?
that was really good. Holy shit.
I don't mind it. Well,
I'm not mad at Kendall
I'm bringing
anymore.
it to the party tonight. So
Yeah, I'm excited. Honestly, Kendall can make tequila. I'm fine with it now.
So she has another one. She has anejo, and then she has oh my gosh.
Reposado.
Yeah. So she has 3 different kinds, which I think is nice when you are doing a tequila. To do, I like Blanco. I'm basic.
Me too.
I like Blanco.
I could do like an añejo or
That's
something,
it.
but Thomas like loves that and I don't.
I
But
really like reposado.
so people were probably asking why this is relevant, and we didn't even know why this is relevant, right?
Until like literally 5 minutes before we shot.
Yes.
But we just learned something about Ange. Why don't you share with us? Well,
Yes.
actually, Dahlia first.
So
ask your question.
I did want to ask my
Mhm.
question.
Yeah.
How we did talk about, George Clooney being a white male doing it
Yeah.
and Kendall Jenner being a white female doing it.
Mhm.
But how do you feel about Ange is Mexican, by the way?
100%,
100%.
baby.
From California, but then
1%.
her family's from Mexico.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Because I would feel the same way about an American white person doing tequila. Because tequila is only in Mexico.
Yeah, because it is like made and manufactured and like distilled in Mexico.
That's like my face on tortillas. Dahlia's tortillas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It
Like,
is. No, I mean, I don't like it because I think that it's just like somebody who is taking credit for something, especially because, I mean, I think there are sides to it. If it's one thing if you're someone who is like white and you have like a really big interest in like how in tequila and how it's made and like you learn a lot about it, maybe you spend a lot of time there. I think this question is also applicable to a lot of different like
fields.
yeah,
in
like
anything,
culinary,
really.
like the Ivan ramen, somebody who's white like going and spending an amount of time in like Japan, falling in love with ramen,
right,
and then,
like
Like
if you're the
Andrew
person-
Ricker, he did. What's his restaurant called? Oh my god, Pak Pak.
Pak Pak Thai.
Andrew Ricker is a white guy that went to Thailand for a few years and opened up
then
restaurants
came
here.
back.
Yeah, and I know people like who spend a ton of time in China and they open a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
And so like that I can understand because they value and they respect the culture.
Yeah.
But I don't think George Clooney is
Yeah,
like,
no, and I don't think
going in-
Kendall did either. She
Yeah.
just like went there to take photos. I think that like
But
if
we
you
don't know that.
that's
Like,
true.
we don't know if she was there and like. The
I doubt it
farms.
though.
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
I
too.
think that like as the bottom line for me is like if you're bringing like wealth and jobs and like adding to an area that you are like extracting something from, then like it's to me I'm like okay, that makes sense.
You
That's
think
like
she's
ethical.
starting a school down there.
No, I don't think she's doing that. That's why it's
Right,
a
do you think
problem.
she's-
And giving them free soccer
I
balls.
think if she like opened a distillery and gave like a bunch of like local people in whatever area it
A
is
high-paying
jobs,
job.
yeah, then that's great. But like I don't know
Does
that.
your family do that? Because
yeah.
so
Okay.
tell us.
Segue. So I was told right before we started, Dahlia and Nicole were like, "Oh, we're gonna like ask you what you think about this," and I was like, "Oh, it's super relevant because my family actually has a tequila distillery in Mexico.
no big deal.
Where in
Yeah.
Mexico?
It's in okay, so also it's my mom's side, and it's like pretty like far removed. I haven't met this family before, and
It's
yeah,
family.
It's
but it's family. It's like so. It's my mom's last name. My mom's last name is Osuna, and the
Osuna.
tequila is called Los Osuna.
And you can buy it where?
So you can buy it in Mexico, California, and New York.
Wow.
I've looked it
And
up
you
on their
didn't bring us
website.
any?
I know. I thought about it on the way here. I was walking here and I was like, I
Wow,
should have
that's
brought
so
it.
funny. We'll have it in the next one. We'll do the munch box with the next episode.
Yeah, we should.
With that tequila.
I need to get it here. I've only ever had it like at home with my family. It's kind of like a thing, like when families all together for like Christmas or Thanksgiving or like something, we'll like have a shot of the family tequila together. And like,
do
my
you
mom,
like it?
I like it a lot. I think it's delicious.
What's the difference between 818 and your family tequila?
This is so sweet and vanilla-y.
Which makes sense. Like, this is something that a teenager
White
can
girl.
drink, and they're going to be like,
basic
oh my God, I
white
love
girl
tequila.
in a sorority is definitely drinking this. And can you guys guess how much this bottle is? What is the
It was $50.
What is the fluid ounces on this one?
$7.50?
I think it's a $7.50.
$7.50. Okay. Can you guys just guess what it is?
$7.50, yeah.
Like the price.
I think it's $50.
Nicole.
$42.
It was $61.
Really?
After tax.
I thought cheaper just because, like,
Oh my God.
Which I'm also not surprised about because, like, why would Kendall Jenner put out a $45 tequila?
But also, she like apparently like stole this entire like label and like marketing from a different tequila.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the other tequila
Let me
company?
look it up.
I don't know. I like her as a model. Even though, like, yes, totally, we're not talking about models in the world right now. But I don't know. I wasn't that frowned upon when I saw her tequila because I was like, of course, every Kardashian does something.
they do something.
They
You
do
have to
something.
do something.
You have to do something. If you have, thank God she's doing something besides just sitting at home and collecting Bravo money, even though it's not Bravo.
And as a Mexican woman who has a family that has a tequila distillery, would you buy this tequila again?
No. No, I would buy Los Osuna, which you can buy in New York if you live here. Also,
in California, we have
in
California listeners.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, we do.
I wouldn't buy. I just don't think it's worth $60. If it was $30, I would buy it.
Okay.
Well, I think that it
there's
doesn't.
not many cheap tequilas.
Yeah,
though.
but
like,
you can
ethanol-
taste the additives. You
Yeah.
can taste. This to me reminds me of like when I was in high school and I would drink like Pinnacle whipped cream. Do you know?
That's
did you guys ever taste that with the
disgusting.
vodka?
Disgusting.
It's disgusting.
What's the one that we were talking about?
it's like-
Ludacris's.
It's sweetened and it has
Ludacris's vodka that you liked when we talked about it.
Wait,
on
that's
the
really
list.
funny.
No. Oh my gosh. Ludacris's vodka that you liked. We were talking about it. It's not. Obviously, it's not Smirnoff.
No, I don't know, but it'll come back to me.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
So also my family who has a distillery is in Sinaloa, which is on like the Pacific coast.
Okay.
It's my mom's family, and that bottle like most often I think I've only had the reposado honestly because my mom and her sister my tia and my tios like prefer it.
Is
so it's
Blanco
usually
only really made for like the American white people?
I don't know, and I really can't speak to that, but
I'm just saying
I would
because
say
it's the most basic one.
Yeah, I think like Mexican, like in my experience, like with my family, like they most often drink reposado.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the more traditional, right?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with like how
We're gonna
made.
do an episode all
We'll
on
do an
tequila.
episode all on tequila.
we
Yeah,
should.
you'll be here.
Also, I just looked it up. So Kendall's tequila was accused of stealing like the name and branding of an Austin like started or based tequila called Tequila 512.
Oh, 818.
Yeah, but
512.
it's just a zip code.
I know, but like apparently like it looks like it. and
Like for
stuff.
all my Jersey people, 732 bitches. Like I would own something that says 732. It's a good number. 301.
The 301.
Oh,
Okay,
what is that,
anyways,
Miami?
No, that's Maryland.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not that sus. Like, this is what it
Close.
looks like.
Maryland and Miami are the same trash.
That's
Just kidding.
not that similar, but I guess the text is.
And then it's like
though.
yellow.
No, it is though. We'll definitely post. We're gonna do a story on which one do you actually think 818 is stealing 512.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyways, we need to move on.
we're
We
gonna
need
move
to-
on to the home cook life.
Yeah.
So, Angelica, you first met us. Can you please tell us what your first impression is when you meet chefs?
Yeah, not just us,
Oh,
just
okay.
chefs.
Just chefs, because you do have another chef friend.
Yes, I do.
Or what is something you assume about chefs as soon as you meet them?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been lucky that I've met you two and your friends, and my other friend whose name is Josh. Shout out Josh. Hi, Josh.
Shout out Josh. We met you too.
He's a fantastic chef, and he's also from California. That I guess, like, honestly, before I met chefs, my like notion was that they were like unapproachable and like snooty, and like because I just think of like my idea of like the culinary world before I moved to New York when I was living in California was like just based on like the Food Network.
Okay.
And like people being really like high strung, people being really like just like very like unrelatable to me. But then I met like actual chefs and I was like, they're just people.
Yeah. That's true.
Who are like nice and cool. And like I also was like talking about this before the episode, but I like also didn't think that like chefs ate shitty food. I was like, chefs only eat good food. They're like, you know, like very particular, or like
we are particular.
We're particular,
but like if we got Taco Bell, you wouldn't be like, no. That was like
I don't like Taco Bell.
The last,
which is like totally I'm gonna get canceled for that one.
Yeah, you're gonna get canceled.
Okay, so I used to like Taco Bell when I was younger.
I don't mean like let's have Taco Bell in the afternoon.
Okay,
I mean like we're like late night drunk ordering Taco Bell.
So the last time, I'm just gonna be honest, the last time I ate Taco Bell, I threw it all up on my way home because I was drunk and I drank too much, and then I was like, oh, Taco Bell opened right next to our subway stop, so like right here on Nostrand. So I went. I was like, let's go. Fuck it, let's go eat Taco Bell. And so I went and I had like, it's a Taco Bell cantina.
First of all, Taco Bell is cheap, so I get why people love it.
On here.
That's disgusting.
Yeah,
I think that's one thing to not throw up is Taco Bell.
Well, I think it's probably better because imagine what it would have done to my body.
That's true. Yeah.
Everyone I know that eats Taco Bell though, they don't feel good after. Like
no, of course not. But I mean, like that's like I just meant like fast food in general.
So fast food in general, I do agree. Like I'm a Wendy's girl. I haven't gone in like 6 months, but like I do like Wendy's. Like I like their spicy chicken sandwich.
I like Chick-fil-A.
She likes Chick-fil-A.
Unfortunately, they don't support my gay friends.
You're gonna get canceled for that.
No, they don't support my gay friends.
I know.
They don't support anyone besides their
Popeyes.
people.
Popeyes is good, but it makes you feel terrible.
So does everything, though.
Their Cajun fries, though, do not make you feel terrible.
The mashed potatoes are good. I love Popeyes.
I love Popeyes.
Actually, my cousin, when she got married, she had Popeyes at her wedding.
Wow.
She had other food too, but it was just like a supplement. Like, this is affordable, and it was. And
that's not a bad. I mean, honestly though, but then I feel like if it's a wedding, people are getting fucked up. Like you're gonna get like Taco Bell or like Popeyes.
Like,
you're gonna get
vomit.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
a lot of people have McDonald's. So I want to know, before you met chef friends, did you like to go out to eat at all? And like, what was your going out to eat vibe before you met us? Because I know it has changed.
I feel like it had to have changed because
you like to go out.
Yeah, you like fun things.
It changed tremendously. Not just since like having chef friends, I guess, but also since just moving to New York. It just like is a life of a difference. Mm-hmm. So before New York, I was living in San Diego where I went to school, and I would go out, but honestly, like I was in college. I didn't really like go out for like fine dining ever.
I don't think any college kid.
Yeah.
Did you? Nicole's weird, so we're not even.
Yeah, but I was working full time and going to college, so yeah, because I did both.
Yeah, I had the money.
But you were in culinary school, right?
Yeah, but I was
I
it makes
was
more
in
sense for you
culinary
to do
school,
that.
and I didn't go out to eat fine dining until like junior, senior year, where we're like, okay, we should really go to the good restaurants now.
Well, I did because I'm working in a restaurant in a city with a lot of restaurants.
Yeah, you were in DC, so
I was in DC.
I was in Providence. There was good places, but
San Diego has like good,
but not like
Mexican food. Like I would have like good
San
tacos
Diego,
and stuff.
When I went, this guy said it perfectly. He was like, aesthetically, like everything is beautiful, but like the food wise, like it's not the best.
And I mean, yeah, exactly. Like,
which is a lot of California.
Unless it's like Mexican food, then it's the best. It's literally the best.
I think the best tacos I've ever had were on the streets of LA after 3 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, those are like the same kind of tacos you'll have in San Diego. I would argue a little better because you're a little closer to the coast. In San Diego.
No, in San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I had like Mexican, but it was always like street food. You know, it was never like fine dining.
But we like street food.
Yeah.
Like, so like we're the Anthony Bourdain of like food. I am. I think
so. I would like eat bugs off the side of the road.
Yeah, I don't care. If it's the best,
no,
like, give
same.
It to me.
Like I will try like anything. But yeah, no, my dining style changed a lot.
Yeah.
And like with that, like wanting to cook more because I just like generally became more interested in like what I was eating, and also like dating Ahmad. Also, he loves to cook as well, and so like
he comes from a really good cooking family.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Thomas does too. His mom is like an amazing cook, but he doesn't like to cook. So
He cooks though.
he breakfast and he will try.
Which I think is good. Like, if you don't come from a cooking family, like, just do it,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But
Is like it's just
we're
you have
gonna
to just
talk
try
about
it.
that. Let's talk to a home cook. What's one thing that you absolutely hate cooking at home, or like
what
you're just
scares
so
you?
scared
Wait,
of
let us
doing?
help
Yeah.
you. Let us tell you how to make it easier.
Yeah, a lot of things scare me, to be honest. Like still, mostly like meats, like in general, like or more specifically like red meat. Like I really have never made red meat, and it kind of scares me
Like
because
ground beef or like steak.
like steak
Do
or
you like to eat it?
yes.
Okay. I can solve this issue for you.
So like lamb, you could totally overcook a leg.
yeah.
Why not? Right?
yeah.
And it's also like
fine.
where to buy good meat. You know
Well,
what I mean?
That's a hard
Yeah.
one. Not hard, but like
So-
it's gonna cost you. That's why I don't
Yeah.
really cook meat at home.
I'm gonna buy you something. It's gonna change your life.
Oh, what is it?
It's a meat thermometer. Do you have a meat thermometer?
No, but I need one.
So there's a thermometer that we use.
No, I don't have a meat thermometer.
I also like duck. I would love to make duck. Like I love duck.
So there's a meat thermometer, which I actually have for a later conversation I was going to talk about because we were going to talk about tools that like chefs use, right? The cool thing about this meat thermometer is you put it, like you cook your meat, you...
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, mic issue.
Mic check.
Mic check.
issues.
Mic check.
Okay, so the cool thing about this meat thermometer, it's called a dot. You can cook your meat. You insert the probe into the protein. You put it in the oven, and it will beep when it's done. You set the temperature.
Oh.
So if you know you want medium rare, you set it to
Do you
125.
suggest this to everyone?
I suggest it to like everybody.
I've
I bought one
I've
for my
never
mom. I
used
bought one
it.
for my sister. I bought one for everybody.
Yeah.
Because this way, you know, you don't even have to check the time. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm going to set a 15-minute timer. You put it in the oven, and when the timer goes off, the temperature is right, and you pull it out, and it's done.
Yeah, something that's like so helpful just to like ease your anxiety because it's hard to like make decisions too.
I think you follow your gut.
Yeah.
Is the one thing that I was always taught, even like right when we
Yeah.
started cooking.
Yeah.
It's true.
They're always like, just follow your gut.
like if it doesn't
you
feel
think-
right, it's not right.
Yeah.
If it doesn't smell good, it's not good.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Like,
yeah, like I fail, like I really like am bad at timing things. Like last night I made pasta and like I always like make pasta al dente because you know I don't want it to be disgusting.
I don't mind overcooked pasta. but
I
don't know why.
hate
it.
overcooked
I
pasta.
don't
And
mind
also
it.
like
Give me that sliminess.
whenever I make
Nom.
pasta, I like end up like throwing it in like something afterwards. So I know
Yeah.
it's gonna cook more. So I'm like trying
Right.
to take it out.
That's smart.
Al
Good
dente?
for you. Look
Thank
at
you.
you.
Tip for everyone.
Yeah.
For everyone, take
but
your
I like
pasta.
never time it, you know, and I'm always like, oh fuck the pasta.
Well, each
Oh.
pasta's different.
yeah,
I don't time pasta either.
I think
When
I,
it's done,
I
it's
did
done.
okay with it,
Bitch,
but
you can't talk. Like, you're a chef. Like, of course you don't time pasta. Like, everyone is different.
yeah,
But
The
you-
one thing I do with pasta a lot is I, like, boil the water and I throw the salt in. And
Mm-hmm.
then, like, 20 minutes later, I throw the pasta in. And that water is so salty.
But that's important.
Oh.
No, it's too salty.
Oh.
A lot of
Oh.
people, like, if you don't like salt, like, I'm sorry. Like, I can't cook for you.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like-
I love salt.
I
Yeah.
like salt things. We were gonna make. I made empanadas for Munchbox for part of Munchbox, and I think they're salty.
Yeah, but they're like perfectly salty.
I'm like a big salt girl too.
Yeah,
Like
salt
bring on the
girl,
sodium.
Salt girl. That's why we like our tequila shots.
So
Yes.
don't worry, I'm gonna get you a dot, and you guys are gonna cook protein, no problem. You can even do it with chicken, like you're cooking
Yeah.
a chicken breast. You put the little probe in, you set it to technically 165, but I would take it out at 155 because
if
it's gonna
you're
rise.
French, you should do it at 145.
But it's
They
gonna
like
keep
it pink. That's
they
why.
they do,
Oh.
but it's gonna
I
keep
know.
rising.
I don't like that.
I like to set to 155, and then it's gonna rise after you take
I
it out of
think
the
that's
oven.
so. You should talk about the rising temp. A lot of people don't realize when you roast a chicken and you take it out, you should let it rest for like at least 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Um,
So any protein, like anytime you're cooking protein,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes out of the oven, it continues
Besides,
to
like,
cook.
really fish, I don't really let fish go over too much. Like, I just eat it, like, almost as soon as possible.
Yeah, but, like...
Not, like, right away. Not, like, 10 seconds after. But, like,
like, beef, pork, chicken. Like,
let it sit.
Let it sit. Let it rest.
Yeah.
And it's going to be better. And because the second you cut into it, all those juices are going to flow right out. But if you let it sit... then they're going to evenly distribute.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Still hanging out.
Yeah.
Still getting to know the thigh and the breast together. You know what I mean?
Wait,
Yeah.
I'm going to do something.
I think, like, meat in general is a little bit, like, daunting. And, like, so Ahmad and I recently got a skillet.
Okay, skillets are nice. Skillets are nice and heavy.
Which we're super excited about. But, like, one question I have for you, we've been struggling with is, like, how do... Oh, my God. How do you clean your skillet? Because I know that you, like, can't put water on it.
Bad.
What kind of skillet?
Like a black skillet.
Like an iron
cast,
skillet?
Yeah,
cast iron.
salt.
Cast iron.
Salt.
Right, but, like,
No,
what if there's shit stuck on it?
No, I
Just wash it.
I wash
With
it.
water?
I use soap.
Just water.
I use water. I don't care. I know.
Really?
How much did you spend on it?
If
If you're not spending more than like $50,
it was
on
literally
the
like
pan,
it was like less than $50.
exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're not spending like all that money,
The biggest thing, like, fine, soap it. I don't care. But, like, just make sure you dry it.
Yeah,
As
drying
soon
it.
as it's done,
It rusts
wash.
very
You have
easily.
to dry it or it's going to rust.
Yeah, because I have like an anxiety about like how I clean that.
Because you can't even say soak it because then it will
no,
rust.
don't soak it. I never soaked it. What I
Yeah.
usually do is I get a sponge with a little bit of soap on it. I like scrub it because it doesn't get stuck. Like nothing ever gets stuck on the cast iron. Like it's really quick to clean it. And then you put it on the stove a little bit and just let it dry out.
But the proper
Like
way...
you put the stove on.
turn it on.
Yeah, turn it on.
Yeah, and let it dry. But
Okay.
the proper way to do it is to, like,
Salt.
get it really hot, add salt, and take a dry brush and, like, brush the salt into it.
Okay.
And that will, like, coarsely bring everything out. And then you
Yeah.
discard,
So
like,
a
the
lot
salt,
of
rinse
home
it, and
cooks,
it's
though,
done.
they don't think that they need a lot of salt. So like you only buy like that little container of salt.
Right. Like, you might not have...
You don't have like the
we have
commercial-
2 big jugs of salt.
Right, so then you can use
You
salt.
can use it. You
Yeah,
can use
we
the
have like the
salt.
coarse salt and then the fine salt, which we like largely bought because of the cast iron. So
You just
yeah.
need a different brush for it.
I think that's the thing a lot about cooking for me personally is like a lot of things are daunting until you just like do it.
And then you're like, oh, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, like a lot of things. Like my mom, like my parents are both Mexican. My mom is Mexican. She's a fantastic cook. She's the best cook in the world to me, you know. And she makes the most phenomenal like Mexican dishes, especially. And I always like, growing up, she'd always be like, "Come in the kitchen with me. Like, learn how to do this."
That's good.
Like, and she would like make me pay attention. But I was such a little brat. I was like, never wanted to pay attention. Always like doing other stuff. And now I regret that so much. I'm like, my mom, you know, she thought about me and she wanted me to learn and I should have paid more attention. And so now I'm calling my mom and I'll be like, Mom, tell me your recipe for chilaquiles. And she's like, okay, do you have a notebook? Do you have a pen and paper? Are you ready? And I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready, go. And she's like, so the night before. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm fucked.
Like, this isn't a recipe.
Yeah.
Or it's too late. You're like,
Yeah.
I didn't start yesterday.
Yeah, so like a lot of things are scary, but if you just like do them, you know, and also like cliche, but practice makes perfect.
But I will say that one thing with home cooks that you should really consider is a lot can be done the day before, and it can it really benefits.
I've learned that too. Like
Some things are way better the next day.
Yeah, that's true. Like soups.
Yeah, soups
Yeah.
like I mean, even like braised meat, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes you braise, like, let's say a chicken or you braise meat. What you have to do, you have to reduce the liquid because a lot of liquid comes out. So to do it all in
So to,
one
like,
day, it
soak
takes
it up.
like, yeah, it takes like a lot longer. But if you think about it a day ahead of time, your product is going to be better.
Thank you.
Really quick, Ange, do you like pink or blue better for your apartment? Before you open that thing I just gave you.
Oh, well, my favorite color is pink.
Okay, then good. That's why I chose that one.
My
favorite color is
really?
pink.
Oh my
If
god.
anyone out there wants to get me a gift.
I will open this. I have a feeling I know what it is.
So wait, I have.
Don't mind that it says someone else's name because, like, it's fine. I'll buy that person buy her the same thing.
Oh my
So you
god.
got her a probe thermometer. Is what we literally just talked about.
Oh my. Ahmad's gonna be he's gonna cry.
Oh,
This is
that's
so
sweet.
exciting. Thank you so much.
Well, we owe
You're
you
welcome.
something for dealing
Oh
with
my
our
God.
dumbasses all
Not
the time.
even. Thank you. This is honestly life-changing. I'm really excited.
It's gonna be super cool. And then I also
we were just talking about this because we've been making more chicken in general.
yeah.
The one thing I don't use is a thermometer ever.
I mean,
never
I
used
only do
one.
at work.
So helpful.
At home, I don't really use it, but it's helpful.
So, like-
I'm using it to help
Thank
teach
you.
Thomas to feel more comfortable cooking meat.
No, it is. It's just like ease and like
Yeah.
peace of mind. Because also the worst thing is like, I made salmon recently and like I'm pretty good at making it. I'll say that. Like, but I seared it and like this time I like balled out and I was like, I'm getting the wild salmon because that shit looks good. And so I got it and it was like a lot like thicker and higher than I usually cook. And so I seared it, but basically it didn't cook all the way through. And like after we like put our fork in it, we're like, oh, it's not cooked.
No.
We had to put it back on the skillet and like cook it more, and it was just like nothing more like disappointing than that. So
That's okay. It
Yeah,
happens
but
to chefs.
I don't really use a thermometer for cooking seafood, but like you
Yeah.
can, and I will take care of
also
you. Don't
think
worry.
salmon you should just finish off in the oven.
that's what we agreed
You
on at the end
just
of
sear
the...
it and then just finish
And then
off
bake it, yeah.
with
Put it in the
salmon.
oven.
With other like whitefish, I don't think you need to
Unless
so
it's
much.
like maybe halibut.
Yeah, like if it's a thicker fish, but I'm totally okay with cooking salmon in the oven after searing. But
Yeah,
go on.
no, I
So
agree.
wow, this episode is going like really fast.
Oh, is it? We're just
But-
talking.
So speaking of tools, let me ask you a question, which is like, what would you recommend for all the home cooks listening? Sort of like staple and like, affordable tools that you should have if you are trying to
Make something
build like
tasty.
a foundation and like have a good like sort of like set of tools in your kitchen to start off.
Do you want me to go first?
You can go first, and I'll add.
I think my biggest one is a microplane.
Yeah, that's on my list too.
I think you need to grate like fresh. First of all, Nicole taught me the fresh garlic trick of just adding it at the end if you want something to taste like garlic, like crazy.
Like fresh garlic.
Like
just
fresh
grate
garlic.
garlic.
Yeah.
Every time
You don't have to chop it. You just
Because
grate
we
it.
have garlic girls out there.
Yeah,
I'm a garlic girl.
garlic
I'm a garlic girl.
And I think we make it too garlicky because of how bad.
So Thomas is always like, "Oh my god, this
when
is so
people
garlicky."
say
I
like,
love
"Oh, I
garlic.
could put 8 cloves of garlic," no, bitch, you could add 1 clove of garlic by grating it at the end,
And it's stronger.
and it's stronger. So once you like add that raw,
So
pure,
it saves you a lot of garlic.
But
And
it
money.
saves you a lot of garlic. I also, this is another thing. It's not a tool, but I buy peeled garlic. I am that hoe.
No, it's amazing. How do you feel about buying minced garlic?
Minced, no. Peeled, yes.
People do buy, but the thing is, I know people buy.
I have it in my fridge.
No, I don't shit on people that have it. I
Yeah.
get it.
Look, I
Use-
get it.
But it's
Buy-
way better if you don't do that.
It's better, but if
Yeah.
you have a microplane, you don't
Yeah.
need to buy it.
Same
Right,
with
it's more
lemon
expensive.
zest. So lemon zest, this is a lot of people that, if you're a chef, you know this, but if you're not a chef, lemon zest, if you want something to taste like lemon, you add zest. If
Yeah.
you want the acid, you add the lemon juice.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't realize
If
that.
you want to taste the lemon,
if you
you
want
add
like
the
a
zest.
lemony chicken, you add the zest.
Yeah.
You don't add just juice.
The pasta I made last night was like lemon ricotta, and I zested it, and it tasted so lemony. And I was so surprised because the recipe called for 2 lemons, but I only had 2, and I was like, I'm only gonna use 1 because like we need to save a lemon.
Which is fine.
Yeah, and I was like, it's
bitch
not
gotta
gonna be.
save a lemon.
I was like, it's not gonna be lemony enough, but it was so lemony, and it's definitely the zest.
And at the end too. That's what's
You don't
nice
wanna cook
about
it.
the microplane is you don't need to use it at all throughout the whole entire dish until the very end. And that's why I like a microplane.
I love a microplane.
And a rubber spatula. If you don't have a freaking rubber spatula
Or
in your-
silicone.
Okay, but quickly, rubber spatulas for home cooks, you need to buy a heat proof because
the
there
heat-
are so many
Silicone.
rubber.
Those burn.
silicone.
Those
There's
still
so
burn.
many. There's so many rubber spatulas out in the market that are not made for heat. They're made for cold product, and they just melt off into your food. So
That's true.
if you're buying a rubber spatula, you need to make sure that it is a heat-proof
It's usually
spatula.
red on the handle and like ugly white on the end.
Yeah, they're not the best looking,
They're
but
not
like
good, but they're good.
What about? Can we talk about knives? Because
Sure.
we bought a set of knives when we first moved in together that were like subpar Target knives, and now that our like main knife like sucks, it can like hardly cut tomatoes.
I think
And we need to buy a good knife.
the most expensive knife that you guys will ever buy is probably like $125 for home. right? Like,
well, I
a
think
global is
It's also
not
like,
that
how do you go
expensive.
about buying
yeah,
a
but
knife?
who
Like,
likes globals?
can you buy a knife
don't
that
mind a
like
global.
I don't like
is
globals.
multi-use?
I mean, I
One
think
knife
that
could do all.
Right,
by the
and
way.
like, where is that knife?
I think you can buy a chef's knife that can do everything.
Right.
There are so many people in the restaurant industry that have
One
and
knife.
myself included, like I have multiple knives, but 98% of the time I use my one knife for everything.
And it's what? How much is it?
I'm not gonna say that out loud.
Okay, well yours.
Mine was $450.
That's ridiculous. Mine was $125, and I went into Corin. It's downtown.
How long have you had it?
4 years.
Amazing.
And I
Do you
barely
sharpen it?
sharpen it.
Oh.
Barely sharpen it.
But I have two separate chef's knives. One was probably $150 and one was $450. And I have two because when one gets dull, then I use my other
We got
and then
the
I
lazy girl
sharpen.
here. I'm lazy too.
I have two, so when one
Yeah.
gets dull, I sharpen the other, so I always have like a sharp knife.
Yeah.
But I think for you, and my brother asked me the same question. He's like, I want to buy a knife set that has like steak knives, it has chef's knives, it
No,
has
I just
whatever.
want one knife, honestly.
I will go to Corin and buy a knife with you because
Yeah, let's
they're
go.
not that
You know
expensive.
what you need? You need the same one that Peter has.
That one's nice. You
It's
need a
so
thin
nice.
knife, like a
Yeah.
thin, light knife. I hate the heavy ones. I'm trying to think the brand that I have. I think it's Corin's knife. Like I
Like
think
they
that-
have a brand.
They have a brand, and
Yeah.
I
I'm gonna
like
grab
their
this.
brand. The knife that she has is also good. You just want a knife where you walk into the knife store and you just be like, I want a knife that stays sharp. That's it. Like
Yeah.
that's literally all you ask for.
True.
And if you're out there listening, like, do not buy the set of knives. Like, I just moved into an apartment and we're looking for knives, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna buy a nice knife. Like a serrated knife, I could
Yeah.
just buy at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Okay, so it's dirty, but I think you
fine.
should buy this knife. It's a Suisson.
It's,
Do you buy knives like according to like the length in ratio to your
Yeah.
hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like some
It's like
people-
buying a fucking like wizard
So,
wand.
like, if
Yes.
you go,
Like this is like dragon feather.
you
Well-
should buy this knife for yourself, and then AJ would be okay with it.
Yeah,
Well,
because
we want to get one that we'll both use and we'll like split it, which is like really nice.
I think for me, like a lot of chefs or male chefs, they like 10-inch knives, but I like 8-inch knives because they feel more comfortable and you can do more with it.
Yeah, it's good.
This knife right here is probably like $150, but like you're never gonna have to buy another knife.
Yeah, and that's like doable for me because like in my situation, I'm like Amon and I are gonna split it. So.
And if you go on vacation, this is also what I usually do. If you go on vacation,
you take your knife.
You take your if
On
you
your
take
carry-on?
No, you take your knife to
TSA.
No, you take your knife to a knife sharpener and they just sharpen it, and it usually takes like a week for you to get it back.
You can buy
No,
yeah.
a lot like home cooks don't know how to sharpen their knife. Don't
No,
don't
sorry.
tell
What,
me.
what I was gonna say is, you can take your knives with you, but that's not what you're gonna do.
So me and Nicole actually went on
I
a
have
trip
traveled
one time.
so many times with my knives. You just have to. You have
This
to check
bitch
them.
brings her whole entire knife bag, like
Wait,
with
why?
whisks and like.
Are you
because-
cooking on vacation?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
we're
I
cooking
was.
on vacation.
No, I was traveling for work a lot.
Okay, that makes sense.
When we were not. Oh, maybe you were.
I
Maybe.
No,
maybe
for
you were.
sure.
Maybe you were at that point, but
Um,
like it was just funny because I was making a curry and I was like, I need a microplane, and she's like, I got a microplane, and I'm like, oh, okay. But
So
what's-
any other tools?
Nicole?
I think the thermometer I told you about.
Yeah.
There's several options, but I think that this one is really nice, and I'll show you how to use it. I think a microplane, and then I think a scale is really helpful if you're a baker, if you want to bake.
I recently got into baking.
Yeah, I think a scale is really helpful, and an offset spatula, in my opinion, which is the little teeny
But
like
if
pastry
you
spatula.
If they don't use it, they are not going to know how to use it.
Yeah, but
I
I
think
think for
so.
I think for a home cook, it's nice because you can like lift things, you can move them, you can
could
cut
cook
with
fish
it,
with
you
it, which
can
I
use
like.
fish. Like
That's
there's
nice.
so many different things, and it doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's
Yeah.
really really
The
useful.
one thing I think people don't need are tweezers, which everyone thinks like chefs are carrying around their tweezers constantly.
It's like a generation,
there-
a tweezer generation.
Yeah,
but I think
there
we missed
are,
it.
Yeah, me and you are not in it. Me and Nicole also have like little frail like fingers. Like we don't like me and you could use our fingers as our tweezers.
Yeah, we don't.
And like I remember working with people and they're like, where's your fucking tweezers? And I'm just like, I don't use tweezers. I use my fingers because they're better and
I have a
accurate.
pair
You
of
don't need
tweezers
it.
that are super, super
Wait,
accurate,
so do
but
you-
like I don't use them very often.
When would you use a tweezer? Because another question I have, like I just thought about this right now because of this conversation. But like when you're cooking fish, like how do you take the bones out?
There's fish tweezers.
Yeah.
God.
We'll get you some of
No,
those
they're
too.
not expensive.
But is it like, so the other day I was making fish and chips and I texted you.
Oh, yeah, you did.
And I bought this cod and then I realized afterwards it had bones in it and I was pissed.
So what
I'll
I
get-
do
I'll
if
get
you
mine.
don't have the fish tweezers is I cut around the bone and I make like
Okay.
strips of
That's what I ended up doing. But I felt like a
I-
lot of the fish, the bone was at a place where like I still had to like, there was still a lot of meat on the
So
bone.
when you cut fish, which is also another thing a lot of people don't do, is you cut it in like an angle. You don't cut straight down with fish.
Okay.
So like, you know, when you're like cutting meat, you mainly like cut down a line.
Wow.
Fish tweezers are also like fatter on the side. It looks like almost like barbecue tweezer.
Yeah, so fish tweezers, they're like pretty
Go
thick
on our
because
YouTube, you'll see what it looks like.
yeah, they sound cool. So those are fish tweezers. Another thing that's really helpful with
Oh, yeah.
proteins or desserts or
But
basically
she has to know the temp.
anything is like
Well, I know that I will know the temp now.
No, this is
a
the
cake
best.
tester.
Oh yeah.
So a cake tester is
I
cool
need
if you're
one.
baking because I mean you don't necessarily need it because you could use a skewer, you could use a fork, but like if you stick you in right, you pull it
This
out.
doesn't show as
it's
many
dirty.
marks.
Yeah, because like I need one because I just recently got into baking and I've been making mostly cookies, but I made banana bread recently and I was like I literally don't have something to test it, so we ended up using
Banana
like
bread is hard.
we ended up
I'm not
using
gonna lie.
chopsticks, which
That's
is
fine.
which is
Chopsticks are
fine,
sick.
but it's very thick.
Yeah,
is
but it's
thick.
fine. Like
Yeah.
honestly, I've used it.
And I will say my banana bread was bomb as fuck.
You want this one?
Banana
I have
bread
like
is-
10 of these.
No, you don't have to give this to me.
No,
take
these
it.
are cheap. Don't worry. They're
Really?
not like hard.
It's like 15 for $12.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll bring you banana bread next time.
And
I
then
come.
the last thing is a mandolin.
Oh, Amanda.
Yes.
But okay, so I actually know a yoga instructor that like messaged me because she wanted to know how to use a mandolin. If you are at home and you're using a mandolin, wrap a rag around your hand, like a thin rag, so you don't feel like you're gonna cut yourself. I've cut myself. This is where chefs cut
I think
themselves.
the worst cut
Cut
I've
is
ever
this.
had is with a mandolin. It
These-
sliced
these
my
hurt.
like a very large chunk
And
of my
when you're
finger
doing
off.
it, do not look at anyone. Don't do anything. Just focus on what you're doing because
it's
we
really
have one,
sharp.
but it's like
it's
we're
ugly.
miss-
I know which one
we're
talking
missing
about.
a part of it that like we lost during a move. I think
I think is it a big silver one?
it's gray and green. It's like I think Ahmad got it on like Amazon.
Ahmad asked me, he was like, "What do you think about this one?" And I was like, "That's not the right one. You need to buy a
need
different
this
one."
This one's $30 on Amazon, maybe $35. And honestly, it looks like it's cheap. Like everyone always thinks like this is the good one. No,
But it
this
is.
is
Do you
the
have
good
to like
one.
remove the knife to wash it?
No, you don't move it.
You don't really do anything with it. You just keep going.
But also, like, you can even sharpen this connected. Like, you take it.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a
you
chef.
don't know,
You
but
think
you can
she-
sharpen it. Never mind. It's
I've
a
never
lot.
sharpened mine, and mine's good.
I need one.
These are good if you
There's-
want to do like radishes
Yeah.
or carrot shavings,
Cucumbers.
Cucumber, whatever you
cucumbers,
want.
anything. I don't know why, but my knife skills have
Yeah.
gotten better over the years, so I don't need that as much. I like forget that I have that.
But it's convenient.
It's good
Yeah.
with Parmesan if you want to like slice Parmesan really
for
quick.
salad. Yeah.
Yeah. So also a peeler, proper peeler. If I know the actual name of it,
The Y, it's like a Y shape. I can show you. You want me to get
Yeah,
one of
it's
those?
like
I
too?
the
have
Y-
one that's good.
it's the Y-shaped ones, not like the long-shaped ones.
Mine's kind of like U more than a Y.
A U. Yeah,
the
it's
U
a
is a
U.
good
The
one.
U one is
Yeah.
a good one. That one's good. A lot of people don't realize like that's important. A
That's
peeler.
true. When I was little, my grandma, my abuelita, my mom's side, would like peel stuff just with a knife in her hand.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was like a pro
And
at
it was
it.
probably like a dull one too.
Yeah, and she was just, like,
my
so
grandma
good
did the same thing.
That I was like, this is amazing, but like I could never do that.
yeah.
I don't know where mine is.
I can't achieve that result.
My grandma chops an onion so she has the onion in her left hand and she has a little
Oh, does she do this?
She has a small paring knife in her right hand and she just sits there and slices it and then she slices it again horizontally and then she
Amazing.
just shaves it off.
That's also another thing is like you just have to learn how to cut things because so recently I was actually cooking with Dahlia. We were at Ahmad's mom's
Oh, we were doing the
house.
truffle dinner with no truffle.
Yeah. Yeah, and R.I.P. truffle.
R.I.P.
for
truffle.
that night.
Anyway,
But
I was a
so
broke ass bitch that day.
you were what?
A broke bitch. Like I didn't buy the truffle.
It's okay. So we were cooking together, and Dahlia was like, I was like in the kitchen, and she was like, "Ange, can you cut the onion?" And I was like so scared. I was like, "Sure," but I was really nervous because I was like, I'm not good at cutting onions, and I feel like I just like. And so I was like, Dahlia, can you teach me how to cut it? And she taught me how to cut it, and I use it all the time now.
Did
and
you
it's
know? You didn't
amazing.
know before?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's like it's just like the way that you cut things.
But even the way I learned how to cut an onion was completely the wrong way until I got to college. When the chef,
I agree.
When the chef was like, "Hey, I have to show you guys how to cut an onion."
It saves you time.
And this was like
I don't know how I was cutting onions
It's
my
like
entire life
you
before.
use the geometry of the whatever
onion.
you're cutting
Yeah.
to cut it more efficiently.
It's an easy way. Maybe we'll do a little video on our Instagram for how
That'd
to.
be
I
so
don't have an
fun.
onion right now.
Yeah, I
But,
cut all the
yeah.
onions, and I.
But the biggest thing, just so our listeners are understanding, like
Yeah.
the biggest thing about an onion is you cut off the top of the onion.
The nipple.
Which is the nipple, not the
yes.
hairy butthole.
Yeah.
The nipple.
You
Yeah.
leave the butthole.
Yeah, leave the
And
butthole.
You
Leave the
cut off the
butthole.
top, you peel or cut in half,
Mm-hmm.
you peel it, and you leave the hairy ends.
Yeah.
Because that end is the end that keeps the entire onion together.
The booty hole.
Core.
So
Yeah, the booty
if
hole.
it holds
Yeah.
the core
Booty
together,
hole.
so if you remove the booty hole, it falls apart. So if you want to do a small dice, a large dice, a cut, a small cut, you leave it until you get to the end, and then you cut that piece off last, and then you have a nice, beautiful onion.
And
And it's
I,
like so small and
yeah.
like diced and so nice.
I'm glad. I like when I teach people how to cut an onion. Like my sister and my boyfriend refuse to learn from me, and it's obviously like
It's a sibling thing.
it's a sibling thing. It's a
Thomas,
boyfriend thing.
I showed him once,
Yeah.
and now he cuts garlic like that.
Oh
No, it's good.
It's
though.
so
You-
applicable.
You should cook. Yeah, it is applicable. You
You
should
cut
could cut a
garlic
lot of
the same
vegetables
way.
that
You
way.
should cut things that way.
Yeah, you should, like in
But
layers.
I remember I worked at a place, and this guy, the sous chef there, he was such a dipshit. He goes, "Excuse me, do you know how to?" I was just mincing garlic, so I wasn't doing like the brunoise small cut the way I cut an onion. He goes, "You need to cut it properly," and I was just like, "Properly? You asked me for minced garlic. You are not gonna tell me how to fucking do minced garlic." And I was like 23 years old, so I was like a little stubborn, but I was just like. He literally showed me how to cut garlic, and I was just like,
It's just mansplaining.
Well, you
Yeah,
know
it
what's
is
interesting,
mansplaining.
and before we move on to the next topic, garlic tastes different every way you cut it. If you slice it, it tastes different.
Mrs. Nicole.
No,
over
but it's
here.
true. If you slice it, it tastes different. If you chop it, it tastes different. If you microplane it, it tastes
Also,
different.
I feel like I've heard, and maybe you can speak to this, that if you microplane it, because like the nature of the microplane and like I don't know, just the fact that it's the how small it is and like it's hard to wash, blah blah. It tends to be spicier.
yeah, because it's exposed to oxygen, and once
this
it's exposed,
wine is so funky.
It's really good.
It tastes like a
Once-
farm animal. I'm so sorry.
A farm animal?
We just changed the wine that we've been drinking, and this literally
It's
tastes
really
like I'm
good.
drinking pig
so
juice.
Thomas had a
Go
wine.
on our YouTube. You actually can see the bottle.
Yeah.
Thomas
Like
had a
and
wine
subscribe.
purveyor come to Kings County, and he just brought these bottles home for me that I
I
guess
don't mind it.
they didn't choose them
So
for the
funky.
restaurant.
But
But
spicy garlic.
Spicy
Yeah.
garlic. We'll go back. So sorry, guys. I'm
No,
so
it's because it's
sorry.
exposed to oxygen. The more oxygen it's exposed to, the spicier it's going to be.
Yeah, and I've noticed that. Like I
But you can
Yeah.
cook the spiciness out.
right.
by
right.
cooking.
But
by
like, do you
cooking.
want to?
I don't.
I don't.
No, I love the
spicy
spicy garlic.
I'm a
love
spicy
it.
cook. Like, I'm a very spicy cook. Sometimes I make stuff and like even Ahmad will be like, "This is really spicy," and I'm like, "Yeah, I did that on purpose."
You're like, yes. So can I just bring it back? Like, you are a Mexican woman. Can we ask you, what is your favorite Mexican restaurant in New York? And okay, one part questions. Dahlia's going to yell at me.
okay,
What's your favorite Mexican restaurant in New York?
that's hard to be honest. I haven't like been super like into trying a lot because I'm kind of stubborn. And like I heard before I moved here and like experienced I moved here this like sort of like like idea that there isn't good food in Mexican food in New York. And I think, of course, I'm spoiled not only because of my family, but also because I live in San Diego, so I'm used to like.
And do you cook Mexican food?
I do. I want to cook more of it, but I do. I made tortillas for the first time recently on my own, which is amazing. So I made like shrimp tacos the other night.
What about, have you made your own mole?
So no, I haven't.
Can we do it together? Because I've done it and I love it. I make a lot and I keep it in my freezer.
Like if I were to choose my dying meal, it would be mole. It's my favorite meal. But my sisters recently visited me for Christmas. And one of my sisters, Divina, she's an amazing cook, and she's definitely the one of us who's like taken on and definitely like adopted recipes from my mom the best and actually like practiced them. And she made mole for us when we were here, for me and my sisters and Ahmad, and it was phenomenal. And that was the first time that like I've had mole that like was made without my mom in that context. And it was so good. And she like, I understand the steps, and she took me through it, so I was like handheld by her and like made it with her, but like I didn't make it on my own. I've never made it on my own, but they did leave like the chile for me and stuff, so I can make it by myself. And then like the chocolate,
I don't think it's that much of a process.
It is and it isn't like
you're right.
For a non-cook, it is. For like short ribs, for me, I could do with my eyes closed.
It's a 2-day process.
It's a 2-day
because
I mean it depends on how you get the ingredients.
True. I mean, for me, it's a 2-day because you have to soak the chilies the first day.
Yeah, that's true.
But
you don't have to soak them for a whole day. I mean, it's better if you do, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
But so like when she made it, she soaked them for like a few hours, I think, and then boiled and blended them with, you know, the other ingredients. And also when we made them, we did not put nuts in it, which was like a big mishap. You should put nuts in it. Yeah. But
what kind of nuts?
Almonds my mom uses.
Okay. I mean, I've seen a lot of different ways, so but also matter. Like almonds, sesame seeds. I've seen hazelnuts. I've seen
noticed like in sauces like that, like when nuts are in it, it just makes it so creamy and beautiful. Yeah, the consistency is just perfect.
It tops it off. But going back to your question, I haven't like really experienced like fine dining Mexican restaurants in New York because it hasn't happened organically for me.
Have you been to okay, so I guess you haven't been, but have you heard of Casa Enrique?
I heard mixed reviews.
Wait, actually I've been there.
Okay, never mind.
I went there for work. It was good, but I mean like
I was going to say if not we'll go.
Is it like not like what you think of Mexican food as?
Yeah, because like
I think a lot of people realize like when they go to like fine dining Mexican.
You have to like go.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to go to a fine dining restaurant in New York that's not American food, it's not going to be traditional, like period, and that's fine. Like,
that's true.
And
you're right on that.
And just because it's not traditional doesn't mean it's not delicious.
Have you been to Cosme?
No.
Is Cosme good anymore?
I don't know, but
I'm sorry for anyone that works at Cosme. Cosme was so good a few years ago.
Where
I
is
haven't
it?
gone in a while.
Cosme, we need to go. Can we take Ange to Cosme?
Where is it?
If it's still good.
If it's still good. I don't. It's like 30s.
I think it's in Flatiron District. It's like 22nd and
I think Cosme is one of the restaurants that It
was one of the first fine dining experience. It's not even fine dining. Like you could wear jeans.
Casa Enrique is good. Like don't even get it twisted. It was really good. But it was just like whenever I have Mexican food, I just can't help but compare it to my mom's cooking.
Yeah, 30.
It's just like a curse.
It's
and
35th East 21st.
But when you were in Mexico, though, you did go to a fine dining restaurant,
and that was one of the best meals I've had in my life. That was Pujol.
Where in Mexico?
It's in Mexico City, and
I've heard plenty of good reviews.
It's like top 15 restaurants in the world. It's amazing. Which fun fact, Michelin stars cannot be awarded to restaurants in Mexico. Because of some weird, like, culinary caveat. I don't know.
Michelin guide is not there.
It's not there.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. So if it was there, I'm sure this would have stars. But it got really, really famous because of Netflix Chef's Table, that show.
I think it was the second season it was on.
Yeah, something like that. Which is a great show. I love that show.
I think that opened a lot of home cooks. Yeah, the swine is funky. Yeah. I think that opened up, like, all my friends were like, did you watch Chef's Table?
It's so good. And I mean, they spent literally millions of dollars on just the camera.
The first 1 or 2 seasons was really good. I don't know about now, but like the first few seasons were really
I've watched
good.
Chef's Table, just certain episodes.
The Dan Barber one was a little psychotic and weird. I
The
felt like
Twa one
the
was
blue,
really cool.
The blue one, right?
the Blue Hill.
The
See,
Blue Hill.
you know, I just felt like that was a little scary. Where I was just like, not all chefs are this insane. I just want everyone to know.
I love seeing the Twa one because like I've been to the restaurant
he's
and I know
great.
the people and
Yeah.
That's
I
how
really
I know about
love
Ivan
them.
Ramen too. Is
Yeah.
which is like, it's a great like knowledge base, but that's how I found out about Pujol, was through Chef's Table. And then I ended up going to Mexico City in November of 2021.
Yeah, you went recently. It
Yeah.
wasn't like last.
Yeah, we went for Dia de los Muertos, and while we were there, we didn't plan on it, but we ended up having like a free night. And I think because it was like COVID.
Do you have family there?
No, I don't. I have
just went to go.
Cool. Yeah, we just went because I had a friend there. So Ahmad and I went with another friend, Dan, whose girlfriend lives in Mexico City, or she's from there. But
I want to go to Mexico City with you.
Oh my god, it's incredible! Like I really want to go back.
I only
it's
hear
just too
good
big.
things.
Can we go?
We should go. And Pujol was like incredible. It is also like stupid cheap, you know.
Yeah.
Like you have a tasting menu in New York, and you're spending like at least $500.
Yeah.
And there we had a tasting menu, 3 wine pairings, and like mezcal shots, and we spent like $150 after.
Wow.
Wow.
Crazy.
So speaking of Mexican food.
Wait,
Oh, go on. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
just to answer your question, the best Mexican food I've had in New York has ironically been at the Chelsea Market.
Oh my God, it's Los Tacos Numero.
Los Tacos Numero Uno.
I love Los
They're
Tacos.
so good, and they're from San Diego.
They're so
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
really,
Nicole
really good.
hasn't had it
No,
yet.
I went.
Oh, you did go.
We went with. I went with you. Los Tacos Numero Uno. It's like on the corner and
There's a few.
Well, there's a
Lower
few.
East
So there's one that's
like
there.
in Broad, like
Yeah.
just off Broadway, but not
Yes, there's one that's there, and there's
When
also
did we
in the
go
Chelsea's
together?
Market. Chelsea's Market.
Chelsea's Marquee.
Marquee. It's like you might as well.
But I really want to go to Sunset Park because Sunset Park, right, is the name of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
That is like very like has a very big Mexican population and is known for Mexican food. So I really want to go there. I had great recommendations. Ahmad's like coworkers have recommended places, and like
It's always a hole in the wall that like
Yeah.
is not known. Like Los Tacos Numero Uno is known all around New York City.
yeah, because it's in fucking Chelsea
But
Market.
it is so
It's
good.
really good.
Like every time I pass by, there's no way I'm not getting a taco.
It's really good.
Even if it's at 11 o'clock and
Yeah.
I'm not hungry, I'm getting it.
It's really good.
So can we talk about Munchbox really quick?
Yes.
So Munchbox, I made empanadas for our good friend Kevin. It's a surprise party, and this episode's gonna come out after, so why not?
Happy birthday, Kev.
Happy birthday, Kevin. So I made these empanadas. I don't remember when. It was just a random party that I was going to, and I was like,
It's probably my house.
No, it was at AJ's house, his old house with Shugs and
Okay, you made them and I rolled them.
Okay, no, that was
Halsey. When Russo was
yeah,
there
yeah,
too?
Halsey.
Yeah, okay.
So like he was like, "Oh, I'm having a party." And I was like, "Is there food?" And he's like, "No." And I was like, "That's so weird. Party with no food."
Right.
But like that's what happens when you're a chef and you're just like,
course.
"Party with no food? That's so weird." So obviously I made empanadas. I was home alone. I think my parents were in Portugal, so I was like, "I'm making empanadas." And I made empanadas, and everyone went nuts over them. And I'm like, I literally just did nothing to it.
No,
Like,
they're
it was-
amazing.
They
They're
were so
legendary.
easy. So I made empanadas, but I got salsa verde handed to me by my boyfriend by a listener named Eduardo. He's a physical therapist with Ian, and he wanted me to try this salsa verde.
Why? Okay, I'm excited to taste it.
Me too.
obviously.
So, first
I
of
like
all,
home
shout-
cooks.
I love salsa verde.
Shout out! I love salsa verde too. It's actually one of my favorite kind of salsas.
But why? Why is his the best?
Is he Mexican?
I don't know if he's Mexican. Shout out to Eduardo. Sorry, I've never
Thank
met
you,
Eduardo.
Eduardo.
I've never met Eduardo. He's a listener, and I also know that they have another listener at that clinic named Tara. So shout out Tara.
Thank
Hi,
you,
Tara.
Tara.
You guys are just awesome for listening and just telling my boyfriend that like you listen to my podcast because he doesn't even listen. So give him shit for that.
Ian.
Ian.
Oh, the garlic is strong.
So anyway, the salsa verde, he gave it to me like 2 or 3 days ago, and the first thing I thought was I'm bringing it on Munchbox because we never had a listener give us a Munchbox.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So I was like, why not? So if you're a listener out there.
I think Munchbox, we want to like support everyone. So it's really cool that we can use.
Yeah, and I don't know if Eduardo's trying to like bottle this up or not, but we're about to taste it and we're about to give you our review. And don't worry. It's good. I wouldn't bring it over here for you
if you hadn't tasted it.
And like I think another Munchbox we could do, and I'm just using this as an example, is like a product that we taste. Like for Estelle, we did olive oil.
Yeah, the olive oil one was really good.
We didn't have that as our Munchbox, but like we could very easily use it as a Munchbox in the future because we want to support everybody.
Yeah.
I also use La Saltina Empanado dough. If you
Salteña.
Salteña.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I love Salteñas. They're Bolivian, and my friend introduced me to Salteñas.
Take a piece. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
So the salsa verde is on top, obviously. I love salsa verde. Salsa verde is
a beautiful color.
Beautiful color. It doesn't look like you put too much acid in it, which salsa verde usually has a lot of acid.
It's a nice spice. I feel like some of the spice is coming from the garlic. But I also tried it by itself before.
I love the acidity of it. Also, with salsas, you have to be careful because, like, a few days later, it could be spicier.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like herby tasting.
Yeah, no, I think it's super fresh, and he gave it to
fresh.
Ian like 4 days ago.
It's very fresh.
This is so Eduardo. Thank you.
Like, do you have a garden, Eduardo?
Thank you,
Eduardo definitely has a garden.
It's very herbal.
You guys are saying this like
it's
a
really
porno.
light.
Like Eduardo has a garden.
It's very light. It's nice.
I love it. Thank you. This is why I love a salsa verde.
It's a really good addition because I feel like it's like very non-intrusive, but like enhancing.
Which is also crazy because I think when you're looking at hot sauces, you don't think a salsa verde is going to be the spiciest, but sometimes it is, and I love that.
Yeah, because sometimes the green chilies are so crazy spicy.
So as a home cook, how's your salt intake?
So I personally live in a very salty household. We're both big salters for sure.
I think I was raised in a very salty household.
Yeah. And I think that like, so recently we also like got like little bowls to hold our salt and pepper, which has been great.
The bowls
highly
are
recommend
good.
them so you can like actually like grab how much you want in each thing, which like seems like very like minimal, but like it's great. We have two different kinds of salt, right? So we have like a coarse salt and like a table salt. Sometimes I struggle like a little bit with like when to use them, but I just try to use like my best judgment.
So what's your problem? Ask us.
I'm just like, when is the best time to use coarse salt in cooking? Because like my idea is like I don't need to use it during cooking because like I think of coarse salt as sort of like a topping almost.
When you say coarse salt, are you talking about like coarse sea salt or like what kind of salt?
Right now we have coarse like kosher salt.
Okay.
So it's not sea salt. But
so the best
I'm like I shouldn't cook with that because like it's basically not going to dissolve as fast.
Right, it doesn't dissolve as fast, so it'll be really easy for you to oversalt your food. But you could use it for pasta.
Just letting Edward know that we are getting double dips of this salsa. It's so good. I love it.
It's very good.
Bottle this shit up, bro.
It could be a little spicier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it's
like put another serrano in there, Edward. Don't be scared.
I think it's spicy enough for like.
I think it's really well balanced. Like I love this level of spice. It could be spicier for sure.
Yeah, but like
I think it's a nice compliment.
I think it's enough. Like obviously, I like spice. Like I could have the spiciest thing and cry. I like crying in spice.
Me too. I love it.
I do, but my stomach doesn't.
Yeah, I feel that.
White girl, we got the white bitch over here.
No, but I personally, like, my mouth loves it, but nothing else about me loves it.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, salsa's really fun, though. It's, like, a really great place to, like, play.
I think a lot of people don't play with salsa.
And you should play with it.
They play with guacamole, when I'm like, bitch, you don't
need to play with that shit.
Guacamole.
Oh, another thing I want to mention, like, okay, I'm going back to the garlic conversation, right? We were talking about garlic.
This episode should just be called Garlic
It should be called Garlic Girls.
Garlic Girls.
Yeah, it actually should be.
So, garlic, Another thing that we were... Okay, I wanted to bring it back and talk about how I don't like dried herbs.
Okay.
But one thing that I do fully support is garlic powder.
Wow.
I support dry
I'm honestly
herbs.
kind of embarrassed about using garlic powder. So that's really good to know.
No, don't be.
I would rather
I'm always like hiding my garlic powder.
I would rather
garlic
use...
powder is different than garlic.
I would rather
It
use
is.
garlic
It is
powder than minced garlic.
So what seasonings do you recommend that like home chefs or home cooks have?
Cumin. Always, I think you should have cumin in the
Paprika.
house.
Yes,
Paprika. Salt, pepper, obviously. White pepper, black pepper. I think you should have both.
I think that...
But it also depends on who you are with the spice. Because I think white pepper is stronger.
It's spicier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that
Red
white...
chili pepper flakes.
Yes.
If
I
you don't
any-
have red pepper chili flakes at your home, even if you do takeout,
I just ran out.
you are a nuisance.
I'm running out right now.
You are Ian has 2019 red pepper flakes in his house. Like, it's literally expired in 2019 and we're still using
They
it.
don't
Why?
expire.
They don't expire, but like, come
They're
on.
not spicy.
But I'm
Come
I'm
on,
really-
what? Get rid of the 2019.
I love my spices and my herbs. Like, but
Yeah.
what I don't like is dried herbs. I don't like dried parsley. I don't like dried thyme. I don't like
Yeah.
dried rosemary. I
Okay.
think those are a waste of money.
Bay
But I
about
think
bay leaves?
Bay leaves are dry.
Bay leaves fine. Yes.
I think bay leaves should be dry.
Bay leaves are also essential for soup girls out there.
Soup
girls.
Soup girls buy the bay leaves.
buy the bay leaves.
Or them, whoever
They,
you
them.
are.
Soup boys, soup they them.
Soup them.
Yeah,
Soup they them.
whoever you are, those soups better be going with
Yeah.
the
But
bay
I
leaves.
also will use
But
bay
take them out
leaf-
before you serve.
I'll also use bay leaves
I'm
to
not
make...
like that, but okay.
No, I leave
You're
it.
right. You follow the rules.
I literally only say that because like Ahmad and I have had a conversation about this. But
Can I ask you, like, how do you cook your rice?
it's a great question. So first of all, I want a rice cooker.
No, you
don't
don't
need it.
need one.
Okay,
You don't
Okay.
have a space for it.
There's
you don't need it.
so much.
It takes up
yeah,
space.
It's
So,
like an air fryer.
I
You don't need
personally am a
one.
rice washer.
Okay.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers. If you have patience for that, go right ahead.
Because I'm also a rice washer, and everybody should wash their fucking rice before
It's
they
so much
cook it.
better.
You guys are
So much
shitting
better.
on Dahlia Helmy over here. And
It's so
like,
much better. Like it's just
I
like
wash my sushi rice. I don't wash my jasmine rice. I know I'm fucked up for that because like I'm Arab and I should really wash
I
my
think
jasmine
the
rice.
only
but-
rice-
Sheila washes the shit out of her
I
rice.
know.
I think the only rice you can get away without washing is jasmine.
Okay, thank you.
If you're eating basmati rice and you're not washing it, you're disgusting. If you're doing sushi rice, you're not washing it, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Jasmine rice, there's a fine line because it can be okay if you don't wash it.
Yeah.
It's better if you do, but I will forgive you if you don't.
Yeah.
Nicole,
I'm
you-
very passionate about my rice, but I was just asking, do you add a bay leaf to your rice when you cook it?
I don't, but that's a great idea.
It depends. If
It
you're
depends.
cooking
Like,
Mexican,
It depends on like well Mexican rice is a whole different beast.
yeah,
But like in general, like I'll wash my rice and
you have to wash it.
of course I wash it like pretty well, like pretty anally.
You
if
know
do
what
say so.
I found out what's easy to do? Is I put the rice in the pot
Uh-huh.
and then I put a strainer on top and I just let that water run while I like do other things.
Yeah.
And it's so easy because like the strainer's on top, not like flipped over, but like literally like the
In
butt is inside the
Okay,
rice.
think about how far this rice has traveled and you're not
Yeah.
washing it.
Yeah.
Nicole's huge on
It
that.
just
she
tastes
used
better.
to yell at people for not washing their lemons and
I
limes.
always like also like so I put in rice, whatever. I wash the shit out of it and then I like put it in and I put the water in, and I like usually add like a little bit of salt, and then like when it's like pretty much cooked, I'll put pepper in it and sometimes butter too.
Okay. Butter
Because,
is a
like,
huge thing.
When I
in,
was
like,
little,
so
my
many
mom
cultures.
used to give us like white rice with butter, and it was just like the most amazing thing. And I
My
just, like,
mom, when I'm not feeling good, like if I'm feeling sick, I will eat like white rice with butter, salt, pepper, and garlic salt.
Yeah.
Or just like garlic powder.
I put butter into Ian's family doesn't do butter. Like they're very against it. And I put butter into like rice the other day and he goes, "Wow, this is so good." And he's eating it. Literally 10 minutes later he goes, "Is there butter in this?" And I go, "Yeah." And he stopped eating it.
He just hates butter?
I
That's
think
so
it's such a psychological thing with him like not liking cheese or butter. And I'm just like, "Bitch, eat it. You liked it before."
You liked it before you
That's
liked
ridiculous.
it before.
When he found out curry had coconut milk in it, he's like, "Oh, No
But
way.
it's literally not dairy. It's coconut.
It doesn't even. It's just like a mind factor. Like
It's
a
a
lot
mind- it's a
of
blocker.
people, like if they don't like coconut, they will not like coconut milk, even though coconut milk is like the creamiest, beautiful thing you could ever have.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna have to like semi wrap up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is crazy because you would think that we could talk for like 4 more hours.
We really could.
Which
We
we
need to-
are
we're
because
gonna
we're
have
going
Ange-
out, bitches.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Ange as a repeat home cook guest.
Yeah,
We
let's,
could ask so many more questions.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's do like a home cook like every
Series.
few episodes.
Every
Just
few
be like,
episodes.
Yeah.
hey, I have a question about this. And
Yeah,
then-
because it's really helpful for people who are just like cooking at home.
there is one thing I do want to say, my least favorite thing to do in a kitchen. Can I like talk about
Yeah,
that?
like let me ask this question because your answer is going to answer it. So, what do you hate about being a chef?
I hate breading.
I
Let's
hate
hear it.
I hate that I have to get flour and breadcrumbs and egg, and I just have to do it. I don't know why, but
I don't mind
the breading system kills me.
And the fact that like the dry hand, the wet
Yeah,
hand is
I
just
don't
like,
know.
fine with that. But the fact that you're a home cook and you know the difference between a dry hand and a wet hand is like amazing because
Yeah, not
nobody
many people
understands.
know that. I hate it.
use one
Even-
hand for each, everyone.
Bitch, I have been a chef for so many years now, and the fact that like I'm sitting there and like I work for a family, so like I have to do breading constantly.
Because
Even-
they like fried food.
yeah, no, not even. Like, it just breading's very normal, like with croquettes for parties or anything. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I have to bread. And no joke, breading takes me 10 minutes. It doesn't take me long. It literally,
It's not easy.
I am very good at doing things very quickly, and I just hate the fact that I have to get the flour. I have to get the breadcrumbs.
Each
or
in
the
a different
panko.
bowl.
I don't know why. It just makes me cringe. It's just my least favorite thing to do. What's your least favorite thing to do? Because that's my least favorite thing to do.
Well, one thing I wanted to say is I hate, and you are the exact same. I hate when people ask me what is my favorite thing to cook.
Yo, I fucking hate that shit.
But-
if you are out there and you ask me what my favorite thing to make is, I'm literally in my head just being like, fuck you.
Like, you know what my favorite thing is? When you stop asking me this question. But anyways, I think my least favorite is working with raw chicken. And I know that a lot of home cooks feel the same way.
wear gloves. That's literally, I think, one thing you should do. Wear gloves.
And also use scissors to cut off the fat.
Yeah, you can use
Use
scissors.
the scissors.
Use
Yeah.
scissors. Don't be scared. Just do whatever you feel
Yeah,
like you have
'cause
to
you could
do.
wash
Snip,
shit.
snip, bitch.
But I think I hate chicken because one, you have to use a separate cutting board. But like there's something about beef that doesn't scare me. Like you can give me raw beef, I love it. You can give me raw seafood, it doesn't matter what it is. Well, yes it does, because I don't like certain fish because of parasites, which we'll talk in a different episode.
Seafood episode.
But I love all the seafood. I love raw seafood. It doesn't scare me. Like I can touch it. It doesn't ever bother me. But like raw poultry, I just don't. It's not my thing. Maybe it's because I don't like personally
Chicken's
love
not
it.
your favorite.
It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
But I think that there's this whole culture in America is that like poultry is the devil. It's scary. You're gonna get salmonella. You're gonna do this. And
How do you think about duck?
duck doesn't scare me.
Duck's all right because
Love duck.
it looks like red meat.
It looks like red meat, and it actually is a red meat.
And it's just like more dark meat heavy, which is like if there's a chicken involved, I want the dark meat.
Yeah,
Yeah, same.
that's true. Even like chicken legs don't scare me as much as chicken breast. And it
Yeah.
doesn't scare me.
Chicken
Like
breast, like just the cutting of the texture.
this project
I
at
think
work.
it's. Do you know why I think it's bad that we don't like it? It's because it's close to human meat.
Ew.
Oh my God.
That's not.
No,
First of all,
okay.
that's not true.
That's not true. That's not true. The closest thing to human meat is pig. It's pork.
You think so?
No, I know so because like there was this like documentary I watched one time about this like a group of
Bless
cannibals in South America. This like cannibal tribe or whatever.
I think I know exactly what she's talking about.
And they were interviewed and they were like, what does like human meat most taste like? And they were like pork, hands down.
Wow.
And that's also
Nicole
why,
is cringing.
that's also why a lot of like medical tests are done on pigs is because they're like
their
meat
skin, their cell
anatomy
structure
is
Oh my God,
so
people
similar.
are cringing right
It's
now.
so
listening
similar to
this
humans.
episode.
Yeah.
And really quick before we finish this episode,
But I
off,
still like pork. I still like
I
pork.
have been weirdly because our ghost host sent us this this.
Oh my gosh,
Dahlia
he's such a
and I-
douchebag.
There's this guy on
Thomas, you're a
Instagram,
douchebag for saying
and
this.
he is he's on a raw meat diet. It's including
it's so
it's
gross.
including
It's
fish.
so
It's including
gross.
raw poultry, hearts, kidneys, livers.
It's so gross.
everything.
It's so disgusting.
It's so
I
disgusting.
can't.
But I think like 3 weeks ago he shared it with us, and he had like 1,500 followers, and now he has like 21,000 followers. And this guy sits outside of Whole Foods and he just eats. He doesn't use a fork and a knife. He literally like picks up a whole heart
Doesn't
and
wash
just
it.
chews
Doesn't
it. He doesn't
wash
wash it. And his whole thing is like he's going to eat this until a bacteria kills him. And I'm like, dude, you don't even know, but like it's probably killing you right now.
Yeah, it's so gross. I
That's
can't. I don't know
disgusting.
how he found this.
It's disgusting,
Such
but I
a
can't
weirdo,
stop watching.
Thomas. You're weird for finding this.
It's so weird, but like, okay, we're gonna end on that.
And on that, thank you, Angelica. Thank you so much for being our social media god.
and
like,
I love it.
I hope, like, we'll ask the listeners how they feel about this episode, but I hope that it's really.
Yeah, we're not even close to. You have to see the list of questions that we had, and we haven't even touched. it.
Yeah.
No, because the time's up. But we can do a round 2, and maybe we will. Maybe our next episode will be with Ange as well.
Yeah.
Maybe
It'd be
we
fun.
will.
Yeah.
And maybe Eduardo will send us a salsa rojo.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
rojo action.
Give us some rojo, Eduardo.
A little Rioja.
Oh,
I'll get a Rioja for that.
Yeah. But thank you for having me also.
Of course. And
Goodbye, my people.
Oh, wow. Do you want to finish it off?
Sure. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Listen next week. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. And follow us on Instagram at KeishMyAssPod.
Woo! Don't forget to subscribe, bitches. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.